All right, Niners faithful, buckle up because San Francisco is making some serious moves that we need to talk about. Today's update has a little bit of everything. Fresh contract, surprise visits, and some players you probably didn't expect. To hear about this soon. So let's dive right in and unpack what's happening in Santa Clara, because it seems like the 49ers are not wasting any time getting ready for what's shaping up to be a pivotal season. First off, let's talk about this linebacker situation that's catching everyone's attention. The Niners just inked a 3-year deal with Stone Blandon, a linebacker who, mind you, went undrafted. That's right, not even a late-round flyer. And yet here he is signing a deal with some serious guaranteed money attached. Now, it's pretty unusual for an undrafted free agent to secure a contract of this length, and with that level of commitment from a team like San Francisco. This speaks volumes about how highly they think of Blandon after getting an up-close look during the pre-draft process and beyond. Clearly, they see potential, maybe not as an immediate impact starter, but certainly as someone who could develop into a key contributor, especially on special teams, and possibly grow into a rotational off-ball linebacker. Now, for those who might not be too familiar with Blandon's journey, here's a quick rundown. He started his college career at South Carolina, but eventually transferred to Mississippi State. Interestingly, a powerhouse program like Oregon showed interest when he entered the transfer portal, but he ultimately chose Mississippi State, perhaps seeing a clearer path to playing time or a better scheme fit. During his time there, Blandon became a reliable piece of the defense, not necessarily the flashiest, but a guy who always seemed to be around the ball, making smart plays. His stats back that up. 184 total tackles, including 6 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, a pick, and a fumble recovery over his college career. But what really jumps off the page is what he did in his final season. In 2024, he racked up an astounding 125 tackles, leading the SEC in assisted tackles with 95. That's a workload that speaks not only to his durability, but also to his relentless motor and football IQ. Physically, Blandon stands at 6 feet 2 inches and weighs in at 230 pounds. He's not going to blow you away with elite athleticism. In fact, that's been one of the knocks on him coming out. But what he lacks in raw explosiveness, he more than makes up for with instincts, play recognition, and discipline. For an off-ball linebacker, those traits are absolutely essential. He reads plays quickly, diagnoses what's coming, and positions himself to make a stop. Whether it's a run up the gut, a stretch play to the outside, or keeping an eye on a tight and slipping into the flat, Blandon's awareness and reaction time are his calling cards. Sure, he might struggle against the faster, more dynamic offensive players at the next level, but in a well-structured defense like San Francisco's, his football smarts could compensate for some of those athletic shortcomings. When evaluating a player like Blandon, it's hard not to draw parallels to other success stories the Niners have had with undrafted players. Remember Evan Anderson. Last year, he was in a similar spot, an undrafted free agent who received a surprisingly hefty guarantee from the Niners, roughly $200 million, which was eye-popping at the time for a player of his profile. San Francisco saw something in him, not necessarily for immediate contribution, but as a developmental piece for the practice squad. Fast forward to the latter part of the 2024 season, and Anderson was promoted to the active roster, making meaningful plays and proving the front office right. Now, heading into 2025, Anderson is poised to be a solid depth option with even more room to grow. It's not unreasonable to think Blandon could follow a similar path, starting on the practice squad, earning his stripes on special teams, and if he continues to develop, finding his way into meaningful defensive snaps. His tackling numbers, especially from last season, indicate he knows how to get to the ball carrier. 125 tackles in a single season is no joke, even if some of that comes from assisted tackles. His ability to read plays, get through traffic, and make the stop is precisely the kind of gritty work San Francisco values in its linebackers. However, one aspect where Blandon needs to improve is dealing with blockers. His athleticism isn't top tier, so he must rely on technique and leverage to shed blocks and stay active in pursuit. To his credit, his instincts and positioning often allow him to avoid taking on blockers head on. But at the NFL level, he'll need to refine those skills further. Interestingly, this is an area where the Niners have excelled in coaching up their players. They've taken linebackers who weren't necessarily athletic standouts during the draft process and turned them into reliable contributors by focusing on fundamentals, film study, and situational awareness. Speaking of linebackers, the Niners' current depth chart presents an intriguing scenario. There's a clear number one unestablished force in the middle of the defense, but beyond that, the competition is wide open. The spots for the strong side and weak side linebacker roles are very much up for grabs. You got a player who was a 7th round pick 2 drafts ago, another who came out of a smaller school in the same draft as Blandon, and yet another whose primary contributions have been on special teams. It's a crowded room, but that also means opportunities for someone like Blandon to carve out a niche. Adding to the mix, we've seen players flash in practice, only to be sidelined by injuries before they could fully showcase their abilities. This year could be different though, with the coaching staff clearly emphasizing depth and versatility, particularly on defense. The linebacker unit is a prime example of this approach. A blend of veterans, late round picks, and undrafted players all vying for their shot. Now, shifting gears to the offensive side, the wide receiver situation is another hot topic in the Niners camp. Reports have surfaced that Gabe Davis, the former Bills and Jaguars wideout, is visiting San Francisco. For those who have followed Davis's career, you know this guy brings size, physicality, and a knack for making big plays when it matters most. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and only 26 years old, Davis could be a valuable addition to a receiver group that's brimming with potential but light on proven reliable veterans. Davis's tenure with the Jaguars was marred by a knee injury that limited him to just 10 games last season. Despite being released after failing a physical, those close to the team noted his toughness and willingness to play through pain, earning him respect in the locker room. His track record as one of the best blocking receivers in the NFL makes him an appealing fit for a run-heavy offense like San Francisco's. When you combine his blocking prowess with his ability to stretch the field vertically, it's easy to see why the Niners are giving him a serious look. During his time with the Bills, Davis carved out a reputation as a reliable deep threat. His yards per reception were consistently among the highest in the league, with seasons of hitting over 16 and even 17 yards per catch. Though he's not viewed as a true number one receiver, that's not the role San Francisco would be asking him to fill. Instead, he'd slot in as a complementary piece, providing valuable depth and giving the offense another weapon for explosive plays. However, it's not all roses with Davis. One persistent issue throughout his career has been his hands. Drops have plagued him at times, with drop rates hovering around 9 to 11% in recent seasons. While frustrating, this is often a trade-off with big-bodied receivers who take on contested catches and stretch the field. Despite these shortcomings, Davis has shown time and again that when the lights are brightest, he can deliver. His playoff performances with Buffalo were nothing short of spectacular, including a legendary 4-touchdown game that remains etched in fans' memories. For the Niners, adding Davis would be a strategic move, especially considering the uncertainty surrounding some of their current receivers. Injuries, suspensions, and the general unpredictability of young players mean the team could benefit from a steady veteran presence. Moreover, Davis's fit within the offensive scheme, his blocking ability, and his postseason pedigree make him an attractive target. Beyond Davis, San Francisco has several young receivers looking to make their mark. Players like Jordan Watkins, with his blazing speed, and Jacob Cowie, a 4th-round pick from 2 drafts ago, are pushing for more prominent roles. The recent rookie minicamp also highlighted names like Tariq Owens, Isaiah Nair, and Junior Bergen, all of whom bring unique skill sets to the table. Each of these players offers something different, whether it's special teams value, slot versatility, or vertical speed. And the coaching staff will be closely monitoring how this group gels during training camp. But circling back to Davis, his potential signing could be the stabilizing factor this receiving core needs. Given the Niners' aspirations for a deep playoff run, having a player with his experience and clutch gene could be the difference in those tight postseason battles. His ability to come down with contested catches, extend plays with his blocking, and serve as a reliable target in critical moments aligns perfectly with what San Francisco looks for in its offensive weapons. And let's not forget the Niners have a history of bringing in players who might have been overlooked or undervalued elsewhere and turning them into integral parts of the team. Davis could very well be the next in line for such a resurgence. His visit to the facility is more than just a courtesy. It's a genuine opportunity for both sides to evaluate fit, culture, and role expectations. Given how these visits typically go, it wouldn't be surprising if a deal gets done sooner rather than later. The bottom line is simple. The 49ers are building depth, fostering competition, and leaving no stone unturned as they prepare for the challenges of the upcoming season. Whether it's shoring up the linebacker unit with promising undrafted talents like Stone Blandon or exploring veteran additions like Gabe Davis, every move is calculated with the ultimate goal of putting together a championship caliber roster. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, quarterback Brock Purdy is officially leaving the San Francisco 49ers to join a conference rival, marking one of the most unexpected offseason twists in recent memory, just 2 seasons after. Rising to prominence as Mr. Irrelevant turned star, Purdy has opted to take his talents elsewhere, in a decision that has fans and analysts alike scrambling for answers. Purdy, who was the final pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, quickly defied all expectations when injuries to starting quarterbacks thrust him into the spotlight late in the season. What followed was a Cinderella run that saw the young quarterback lead the 49ers deep into the playoffs with poise and precision rarely seen in a rookie. His rapid development and leadership under pressure earned him the trust of the franchise and the admiration of fans across the league. However, despite the momentum built over 2 promising seasons, sources close to the situation suggest tensions behind the scenes may have played a role in his departure. Contract negotiations reportedly stalled earlier this year, and while the 49ers publicly maintained confidence in Purdy as their long-term solution under center, whispers of dissatisfaction with offensive schemes and long-term vision lingered. Purdy's destination only adds fuel to the fire. He has signed a multi-year deal with a direct NFC rival. While the specific terms of the contract have yet to be fully disclosed, early reports suggest it is a significant upgrade both financially and in terms of team control. The move is being hailed by some as a masterstroke by his new team, which now boasts one of the most poised young quarterbacks in the league, and criticized by others as a major misstep by San Francisco. Reactions from 49ers fans have been mixed, with many expressing gratitude for Purdy's contributions, while others question the front office's decision-making. As the dust settles, one thing is clear: the NFC landscape has shifted, and the rivalry between Purdy's new team and the 49ers just got a lot more personal. The next matchup between these two teams is sure to carry playoff implications, and emotional ones too. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.